Hello again. Sorry, the last video cut off. The software I'm using only lets me record for 15 minutes at a time, and I ran out of time. So I think we left off here right around number 6. I was kind of going a little fast, you may have noticed at the end, because I was trying to get it done in the 15 minutes, but it's okay. We'll finish it off here with the second video. So what does the statement structure fits function mean? Provide an example to illustrate your answer. So structure fits function. So the way something is designed allows it to do its job, right? We've talked about this a few times. I think the example I used in class was simple, like a table. The table that you are sitting at, right? Its structure allows it to do its job, its function. Its structure is that it's flat, that it has the 4 legs to hold it up, that it's not like slippery or anything, right? You can use it to ride on, you can set things on top of it, things aren't sliding off of it. Yeah, the structure, it fits its function, which is what it needs to do, right? It wouldn't work well as a table if it was all jagged and uneven and stuff, right? So the structure fits its function. What is the main function of leaves? Well, their function is to allow the plant to do photosynthesis, right? So that's their function. That's the whole purpose of a leaf, is to allow the plant to do photosynthesis. So describe how the structure of a leaf fits its function. So we can look up here. There's a lot of things you can talk about here. You can talk about the fact that leaves are flat, right? They're not thick, right? Light can't travel very far through the leaf, so it has to be thin. And just, the cells in it that do photosynthesis are near the surface because it's really thin. There's pretty much every cell in there is going to be near the surface, so it can do photosynthesis. You can talk about that in that structure. You can talk about how there's these kind of veins, the vascular bundles, these tubes that bring water. It needs water for photosynthesis, so it has these tubes that bring water to it. You can talk about how it needs to bring in carbon dioxide to do photosynthesis, so it has these openings which allow water to come in, right? You can talk about how the cells that have the most chlorophyll are right along the top near the surface, right? So because they're closest to the sun. Okay, there's a lot of different things you can talk about here. So there's just a handful, and you may have came up with more than just that. Let's see. Describe how the shape of its leaf, broad and flat, fits its function. So you may have covered this in the previous one, like I just kind of talked about, right? Being broad, the broader and flatter it is, the more photosynthesis it can take. And you'll notice plants that live mostly in shady areas or maybe under the canopies of trees oftentimes have broader, wider leaves because they need to be able to do more photosynthesis to produce the same amount of glucose, right? And plants that live in direct sunlight or in really hot areas have really small leaves, right? Because they're trying to limit how much water is escaping, and they don't need as much surface area to produce the same amount of photosynthesis or glucose, right? So if you're on a hike or in the hills here, most of the plants you'll see have really kind of small leaves. Do you think all plant cells have chloroplasts? Explain your reasoning. Okay, chloroplast is the organelle within the cell that does photosynthesis. Okay, now a lot of cells in plants do, mostly cells that are on the surface. Some plants have cells on the edge of the stems, things like that have chloroplasts along with the leaves. But think of there's other parts of plants that are not green, right? The bark isn't green of trees. The roots are not green, and that's a big one, right? The roots aren't green. They're not going to do photosynthesis. They are underground. There's no sun hitting them, right? So the fruit, right? A fruit like an apple, it's not doing photosynthesis, right? So a lot of things a lot of plants have cells all plants have cells that don't do photosynthesis, right? So meaning if they don't do photosynthesis, it means they don't have chloroplasts. But all plants have some cells that do have chloroplasts. All right, and if you have any more questions, again, feel free to ask when I'm back on Friday. You can ask the sub. They might be able to help you. And go ahead and stop here. We will continue on with the rest probably when I'm back. So this is kind of a Wednesday, Thursday activity. Thank you.